Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company podcast. I am Dane Hennen. To my right is Levi Gates.
It's Leviticus Gates, actually.
Leviticus Gates. Joseph.
And then Joseph Gates.
Everything I've ever seen with your name written says Joseph, and I'm going to continue to say it that way from now on. And then I've got Anthony Fisher over here to my left.
Hey, guys. Hey,
and we're the Rag Company trio, I guess, if you will. So, so we do our thing. We talk on the podcast, bring up what happened on the weekend.
Hope you guys had a good weekend.
All that business. So why don't we just pick up there?
Yeah. So it was a busy weekend. It was a hot weekend.
Yeah.
We had like record temperatures in Boise, like 108. Was that 108 on Friday?
Oh, no, 110. We got on one of the days.
Saturday?
Broke a new record.
Friday was the hottest day. You know how I know that is because I rode in Dane's Miata.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
When I got out, my back was completely saturated. And he has cloth seats with seat covers.
That's why I throw seat covers on that thing.
I was like, Dane, how many other people have sweat in those seat covers?
Honestly, not many, because I usually just drive it by myself.
Okay, all right.
Just his dog.
It's like my motorcycle.
I didn't know if it was your girlfriend sitting in there because the seat covers did look pretty rough.
Oh no, your side is what it's supposed to look like. My side is the gross side.
I'm glad we've established that.
Seat covers need to be replaced after 2 years.
So you guys on Friday took the Miata.
Yeah.
On the hottest day of the year, you got in a convertible.
Yep.
That has no AC.
No AC. It's weight reduction, bro.
To drive 30 minutes?
30, well, yeah.
With traffic, I mean.
30 minutes.
In the hot sun.
What was unfortunate is we got caught behind them doing road work where they're doing chip seal and laying down the tar.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't see that coming.
So we got caught right behind the tar truck. So if you can envision 110-degree weather, a tar truck,
hot tar.
The smell of hot tar.
Old Bessie.
We didn't have anything to drink. Oh, I had a Mountain Dew. It was already hot by the time I was drinking it.
And a dude hanging off the back of a pickup truck just staring at you.
Yeah. It was not ideal.
But what did you guys go look at?
Well, we went up to Lupo, which is always a good place to find some fun cars.
Lupo Motor, our premier exotic car dealer here in the Boise Treasure Valley.
Yeah. Get at Drake if you want to go check out some cars up that way.
Check out Lupo Motors on Instagram.
Yeah.
So they got a new arrival, and it was a 25th anniversary edition Lamborghini Countach. And I don't know about you, but that's a childhood dream car, poster car for a lot of people.
I had a poster of a Countach on my wall.
Countach is what's up. If you were an 80s kid,
1989. I was 9 years old.
It was
in my
89.
new bedroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Putting that on. Dane wasn't born yet. Neither of you guys were born yet.
I was 89.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
we
infants in your cribs.
I saw a Countach. Was it in that DMX movie? What Lamborghini was in that DMX movie? Do you know what I'm talking about?
See, for me, the Countach was Need for Speed growing up. Stuff like that.
So maybe it wasn't.
No, not for me. That was
movie.
Mine was Cannonball Run.
Oh,
beginning
of
every Cannonball Run.
I definitely watched Cannonball Run. Yeah,
1, 2, and 3, which was.
I think the Countach
what did they call
in
Cannonball
was either a 4,000 or 5,000 QP, and the one we saw was the 25th anniversary edition. So it had all the crazy
extra stuff,
fiberglass body kit, extra stuff. So if you're picturing the really over-the-top Countach, I mean, they're all over the top, but the really over-the-top one with the wing and all that stuff, that's what this was.
Yeah,
and
number 2,
purple.
they changed color. That one was the cool. Then Cannonball Run number 2, it changed color from white to red.
This one was purple. I'd never seen another one, and Drake said he'd never seen one this color before. So
that was pretty cool.
It was kind of special.
And it had gamblers on it.
Yeah.
The wheels.
Good
It was the right setup.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
legit.
The tire was a 325.
Oh, they're hilarious. You know, when you're looking at early 90s
and they're like
Vipers,
16-inch wheels.
Yeah.
Vipers and Countaches and Diablos maybe too have that same small diameter wheel, humongous tread pattern.
Yeah, it's like a
really
16
wide.
by 12.
But then
they're like 355.
Well, but the sidewall was like a 45, 55 series tire. It was
a tall tire.
Super fat.
It's chunky. Yeah.
It was not. I mean, back in the day, that would have been.
So
sporty.
you're saying I could put that on my truck?
Comfortable, though.
But the wheels were 15, so it's a very unique size. And of course, there's only a handful, if even that, manufacturer still making.
I think you said Pirelli is one of the only ones that
Pirelli
still
are the only ones
it.
who make them. So pretty cool, though.
So we did that on Friday. So technically, that's where our weekend initially started with the hotness, and then Saturday was also hot. And
it was gross.
You found out the hard way because what were you doing on Saturday?
I wet sanded and cut the driver's side of the truck. I was going to try and tackle the whole thing.
Ooh.
And I stopped. I got the driver's side done, and I was like, I'll do this later. And it was still just too hot. I never finished it Saturday night. And then yesterday was perfect. It was like 85 degrees. It was
today
amazing.
And yesterday a little better.
And but I just didn't finish it. Maybe I'll do it tonight.
What was your process? Like, what did you do?
Let's use 3000 grit Trizac and just sanded the whole side of the truck down.
By hand or machine?
I did it by hand.
Yeah.
I tried the machine,
it was
but
Trizac, so
I just knocked it down. It's all, like I said, the truck had been spray painted, so I was just trying to make it better. But I did that, and then I used the Rupes wool pad on my 15.
You love that.
I also love that
with
pad
last cut
as well. Yeah.
So I used the blue cutting pad with the last cut on the 15, knocked it down, then threw the yellow pad on and the yellow Rupes foam, and then just same last cut. Yep. Finished it all out. Put some bead maker on the side. Was pretty impressed with it, but like I said, it was hot. I had a fan.
Good considering what it was before.
Oh yeah, no, the other side is still like I need to do it before and after.
Yeah.
Like tape stripe on the bedside because if it turns out as good. But yeah, no, it's it's just something fun to do, something to play with.
How's your 15 holding up that you built? You built by hand. Everything's still running smoothly.
It's a hand-built Master of Shine special is what that is.
Yes, it is. You need to get some vinyl that says Master of Shine on it and put your initial, like your original logo on there or something and do that on the side.
That's a good idea.
Just don't put LG on it because people think it's made by LG.
That's true. Don't want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. But I had my 20-year high school reunion this weekend.
Oh, is that where this came
May or may not be that.
Who is that? Who is this handsome man from the early 1800s?
If you're watching on the Right Company podcast channel right now, you can see Anthony will hold it closer to the camera. You'll see this wonderful picture of Levi.
Yeah. That's my senior picture straight out of the yearbook, right?
Is that a ponytail I'm seeing back there? Oh my god.
With a mid part. That is a mid part.
Also,
folks.
notice
I made 1998.
Joseph, like I was saying earlier, he's got the Joseph thing going on.
Yeah, they spelled Leviticus wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was super awesome that they spelled my name wrong in the yearbook. I remember thinking like,
how important am I to these people?
Yeah,
obviously.
And then I picked up my thing and like, wow, they literally copied it straight out of the yearbook. Like it's a photo, like they just photo Xeroxed it.
Didn't even try.
So to cover that up, I just threw the badge name tag said Levi Gates on it.
Yeah.
But it was good. I saw your Aunt Gwen there.
Oh, nice.
She was at the reunion as well.
Yep.
She was working the reunion.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, she was not in your class.
No, but Bishop Kelly is where I went, and they do... the way they kind of set it up is they do reunion weekends. Mm-hmm. So they get the class same weekend. They do the class of 08, 2008. So they take the 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, 40-year, and 50-year reunions, put them all on the same day.
Interesting.
So they say Friday night, come hang out at the school, check out the place. We're going to do drinks and appetizers Friday night. Then Saturday night is your own class dinner somewhere. So my class paid to do Reef downtown and Basque Center. I didn't go to that night, which I guess I probably should have because that's when like way more people were there and it was a little more fun. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday they did a mass and a brunch in the morning at BK. Mm-hmm. There was only about 25 people showed up out of 5 graduating classes.
Yeah.
So Friday night was good though. There was probably about 75 people from my class. So good turnout. And I guess there was probably about 100 to 125. So it was pretty good. I had 160 people in my graduating class. So to have that many people show up to things was pretty awesome. So good turnout. Got to see a lot of good friends. And, it's weird, though, in the world of Facebook. Like, you're never really not, like,
You're not so far detached that you can't have a rough idea of what's going on with people's lives anyway. Unless you choose to. I mean, granted, there's plenty of people who are like, Facebook, not for me.
And and there were some, and it was good catching up with them. Found a guy I went to high school with, a good friend, a good guy, Heath Gamboa. His daughter is 7, and she has type 1 diabetes. So me and him could like bond over that. And he was, he kept, I kept giving him a hug. He kept giving me a hug because it's like this, you meet a parent that understands.
Like, you get it.
Yeah, and so that was fun. And just, I hung out with 2 girls that I went to high school with Friday night, and we kind of just did the tour together and tried to stay in the same group and just kind of chatted a lot and caught up. So that was fun to hang out with them and catch up with them. We got to tell stories, like backstories to certain events.
Oh, yeah.
That none of us knew. And so that was fun, too, to like kind of learn about each other and things
Levi,
like that.
Always the gossip.
Yes. And then, but yeah, no, it was good. So Friday night I did that. My grandmother came into town.
Oh, nice.
And they came in on Friday here into the rag company. And so like my grandmother, my mom, my Aunt Benny and her husband, and then my Aunt Sevi and her wife. And my Aunt Sevi is the culinary director for Top Golf. Mm-hmm. And so she came in to check us out. So Sev, if you're listening, good to see you. Yeah. Those of you that have been paying attention and watching a long time, Top Golf is where we hold our SEMA dinner. So
Top Golf is where it's at.
It's our favorite place. So Sevi came in and got to check the place out. And so it's fun because they all live down in Dallas. So it's fun to have everybody up here. Yeah. They were in town for a family reunion party as well. I didn't go to that because I did my high school reunion, and then my nieces also came into town. So it was a busy weekend.
Yeah.
Had a ton of people in town and a lot of stuff to do, and then it was just gross hot. It was just way too hot. So but yeah, so that was my weekend. Sunday we just kind of chilled out, and then today we've just been building orders.
Nice. Dane,
what'd you guys do?
No, it was pretty much like you had a lot of family come into town. I had a lot of my dad's side of the family come into town. Mm-hmm. So for this, it was basically brought in a lot of the aunts. I got to see my little cousin Xavier. He's
he came in today.
Now he's
5.
He's 5. Because it's hard because I kept talking about how he seems older than he is. Because he's like weirdly taller and just seemingly older, and he talks a lot. And look out! He'll chuck things at you.
Well, I had a great conversation with him downstairs. He was eating his cake, and he goes, because we had a birthday party here, and while he was here, so he got to eat some of the cake.
Yeah, he lucked out there.
He was asking about. He goes, "Does Dane live here?" And I said, "Yeah, he does. He watches TV downstairs. There's a shower downstairs here in the bathroom that he uses." He goes, "Well, where does he sleep? Where's his bed at?" And I said, "Well, he usually climbs those stacks in the back in the warehouse and built himself a bed out of boxes and towels." And he kind of looked at me a little confused. He looked at me a little confused, and I said, "Actually, there's a couch upstairs. He sleeps on that couch." And he's like, "Oh, that makes sense." And
no wonder he was asking so many questions about where I lived after we went to lunch today.
Yeah,
which where I was right before this. Yeah. So. Okay, that explains that now.
So I told him that you could do it, that you did all that. Your mom was sitting there right next to me. She didn't stop me. She let me keep talking about it. She supported it.
Nice. All right.
So Dane, so you had your family in town?
Yeah,
do
so
fun?
We hung out and basically just kind of kept it low-key. Like, they don't visit more than about once a year. Yeah. So it's kind of a unique opportunity. Going to make sure I
and it's a big year. Like, your parents, because your parents run the business, too.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to have that many people in town and that it's
all at
event,
their house.
It becomes a, your mom marks it on the calendar, like, all hands on deck because we got to be gone. So
the store's got to run and stuff, but we're all out. Yeah. So, I was here like half day
or not
Friday.
Will's on your mom's side.
Yeah.
But
no, it was really fun. Got to hang out with all those guys and, just play in the lake and stuff like that. So it was really fun.
Yeah.
But, it was typical, like, family just catching up and showing them what we've been up to. They show us what they've been up to.
Yeah.
But, nothing too crazy. We didn't, have any reunions or anything like school reunions, but it was just nice.
Yeah, your mom's is next year.
Yeah.
She told me.
So. Doing the BK thing.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Hey, yeah.
So, Anthony, you had did you buy a new car?
I didn't buy a new car.
Oh, you got me all excited because I was like, wait, I haven't heard about this.
No, okay. So basically,
his Instagram was on fire this weekend.
Oh,
got a couple likes on a post. I'm not gonna lie, that happened. No, basically, I told you guys, I think a couple weeks ago, I was gonna be doing a detail on my friend's MK4 Supra. And I kind of explained that it's black Supra. It's 600 wheel horsepower. It's insane. He just got done doing this big single turbo on him, talking like
internet
huge,
gold.
Huge turbo.
It's a pretty car.
It's a really nice car. But he had been wanting me to do some detailing on it for the last couple months, and we've been so busy I haven't had a chance to do anything. So I told him when I get back into town and when I can actually have a weekend to do this, I'd like to knock it out. But I kind of talked to him about the process I'd wanted to do because the whole car had a respray a couple of years ago, but around the car it's got rock chips, it's got a couple little dings, it's got some dents, it's got some cracking paint in certain areas. The respray that was done on it,
there were corners cut.
There were some corners cut. It's not the best. However, right. It's all the same color, right? So that's good. That's good. But what I could tell is that there's definitely a lot of clear on it. There is, the masking job wasn't the best, around a lot of the, around some of the rubber and trim. But it is what it is. But one thing I told him though is that for the car right now, he just got a new bumper on it. I can't remember which company makes the new front bumper, but it's a more aggressive front bumper. He just got it freshly painted. About, I don't know, not freshly, I guess 4 or 5 months ago it got painted. And what he's wanting to do is get pretty much the rest of the paint looking up to par with how that bumper looks. And so I told him realistically, we'd have to definitely do like a 2-step on it and try to get it looking as best as possible. But what I wanted to do before that was do some rock chip repair on it. And I told him that, he has so many chips on the hood and things like that. If we were to do...
It holds it back.
Yeah, if we were to do a correction on it and then coat it, without filling those in first, that wouldn't be ideal. So the same process that we're doing here with Dane's Volvo is we wanted to do the rock chip repair first. So
except he managed to get the Supra done before
Volvo. Sorry, Dane. I know. Well, it's not done. It's not done yet. Yeah. So this weekend was the rock chip repair weekend. What I wanted to do was do all the rock chips, repair those, and then this following weekend, upcoming for this week, I'm going to be knocking out the actual detail and the actual polishing. So he dropped it off Saturday. That's what I'm doing. Sorry. So before I did even any of that, I went to a European motorcycle show where it was limited to Euro bikes only. So nice. Ducatis, Triumphs, Aprilias, BMWs, KTMs, a little bit.
They're
of
trying
everything.
To keep all the Gixxers out, and
So they're trying to keep all the
GSXs,
all the Japanese bikes
Gixxers.
out. But so basically, I went to that in the morning, and it was like a for charity show. Everybody paid $20, got in. You get your bike judged and whatnot.
Yours won best paint.
No. So it was basically what it was.
What?
One of those
Kind of.
So listen.
Hold on a second.
Should he be on this panel?
So
hold on a second.
What? No. So basically, how do I explain this?
You were robbed.
The votes were based off of you had to buy raffle tickets you had to buy tickets to vote.
Oh.
It was one of those kind of situations.
So it's not a really valid vote.
No, not really. Like it's you basically if you buy $50 worth of tickets and you dump $50 worth of tickets into one thing, you're gonna win, right? So I don't know.
So why didn't you spend $100
kind of behavior
and win your trophy?
I'm just like I was like what? Well, because there's always gonna be somebody that spends more money than
the winner
than
is this scuffed up.
Yeah.
So the prizes were just gift cards to a food place and things like that. But I did win part of the raffle, which was they called my name up there. I went up there and they had a big Ducati poster for me. A lot
nice.
of Ducati
go
stickers,
looking great in your Triumph.
A lot
cave.
of a lot of Ducati keychain. And so
I got a friend that'll take all that off your hands if you want.
And I was like, well, guys, it turns out
Todd, if you're listening,
buy a Ducati apparently. So what I ended up doing is I ended up giving it to my friend Alex, who just got a Ducati, and I said, hey man, this is better suited for you. But if you win Triumph stuff, give it to me. But I was there for a few hours, did that, and then left. But went back to my house, and that's when my friend Mitch dropped off his car. Basically started in on the rock chip repair, washed the vehicle first, went around to each of the big areas that I was going to be doing paint prep and kind of cleaning out the chips. Basically sat down and set up shop. I mean, it was hot. Like Levi said, it was about 110 degrees in my garage, according to my thermometer.
Yeah, I had a fan. You didn't.
I did not. Dude, I was just sitting there sweating. And I was sitting there, like, tediously doing rock chip repair.
I was sitting there polishing, but I had a fan at least blowing on me, but it was still hot air.
It wasn't ideal, but I got the job done. I was there doing that for a couple hours, finished it all up. And then what I did is did a test spot on the vehicle, and So what I kind of found is that, he has a lot of orange peel. I mean, not anywhere near as bad as some of these other paint jobs I've seen, but a moderate amount. So it really kind of came down to, it's a black car, and I explained to him, if I were to wet sand this right and go through, not only would this cost exponentially more going through and doing this, because I would want to make it perfect, but also it's that if I wet sand it, and like we learned at the root beds clinic, oftentimes you're not removing the orange peel, you're basically you're cutting it down, right? So that orange peel could potentially still be there, right? Just at a lesser extent. So I explained to him, well, what I can do is I can take your current orange peel, buff it, and make it shinier and glossier to where you're overseeing that, or I can wet sand it and basically make it glossy while trying to diminish that, but at the same trade-off, you're losing some clear coat on this paint. What's worth it to you?
You should just call Jason Rose and have him explain over the phone to him.
Well,
Jason was pretty adamant about that. Try and talk people out of getting rid of the orange peel, because it's not.
Well, especially on a car like that, like you don't know how much clear's on it, and you can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and I basically explained to him, like, listen, it's more worth it just to buff it out and to make this paint last as long as possible, especially if you're not planning on getting it resprayed anytime soon. And he agreed with me, and he trusts my opinion. So I did the test spot with just a microfiber pad with the last cut, followed up with a yellow Rupus pad with the last cut. Came out really good. I was really happy with the way it looked. And so I feel like that was going to be the process for the whole car in this upcoming week. But and then I asked him as far as coatings, what he wanted to do. I said, are you looking for more of like a semi-permanent, permanent coating, right? Like if I were to do Inspiration and really extend the life of it, or if he wanted to do something a little bit less permanent and make it like a 2-year, every 2 years come back and polish it up or do something like that. And he said that gloss coat actually sounded better to him in terms of that, because he's like, it's a black car. He's like, Anthony, I want you to build me a kit and show me everything I need to do to maintain it. But I drive this car. I'm probably going to scratch it up down the road, and I'm probably going to want to get polished again. And I said, okay, well then, we can go gloss coat if that's what you want to do. So I'm going to build a kit for him this week, this Friday, before I do all the stuff. And that way, when I'm finished, he can take home products and towels and all of that to maintain it. And I think it'll turn out pretty good. So I did that on Saturday, finished that up. And then Sunday, I went on yet again another Grom crawl.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
There it is. Yep.
So,
Grom crawl.
So I keep doing these every couple months or every month or so.
But you get a good turnout, right?
Yeah. So
it's like the ringleader. So.
Well, it's like, I like getting these, like I said, going on these Grom rides is probably like the most fun.
It sounds fun.
You can have.
So I was creeping on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, kind of looking at Groms, but also mostly looking at scooters for my wife.
Yeah, scooter's
See,
a good
I have
start
to get her a scooter.
For you to get a Grom.
For me to get a Grom.
Yeah.
Or you just get her a Grom.
Like,
no,
you need to get
she wants a scooter.
You need a scooter, and then
she's going on a scooter date with her girlfriends.
Get like a scooter with like an area for a second passenger, and then you need to get a Grom and then build a sidecar for it, so you can take the kids out.
Yeah,
put the
I saw that there are sidecars on
there
Craigslist.
Are sidecars, yeah. So you could get something mobbed up, and we know a bunch of welders, so we can probably fab
That's true.
something.
Yeah, we could build up something pretty decent.
But so that ride I went on, what it was is the previous ride I went on was, I don't know, 60 miles or something like that, right?
It was like a hill climb.
And we were pretty much craving more, so I said, okay, guys, let's beef this up a bit. So there's this thing called the Loman Loop here in Idaho, to where basically we go up through the Idaho City, we cut up through a place called Lomond, go back through, it's called Banks and Garden Valley, and then you go through Banks, and then you come down back through this place called Horseshoe Bend. And it's just a lot of twisties, a lot of cliffside stuff going along the river. It's a really beautiful ride.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that the roads are pretty trashed because of all the fires and
you get a ton of traffic on 55 too.
Yeah.
So the roads get rutted, they get warped,
they freeze and thaw a lot. And there's
heavy,
tourist traffic going up. And
so they get pretty thrashed. So I basically explained to everybody, I'm like, this is the ride that's going to separate the boys on Groms from the men on Groms, right? So on our previous rides, we had about 20 Groms and little Kawasaki Z125s pretty consistently. This ride, we had 13 riders show up. And I was like, all right, okay, cool. But we showed up with...
You packed Fix-A-Flat.
I packed Fix-A-Flat. Yeah. We had a first aid kit. One of the guys was a medic in the Air Force or something like that.
Helpful.
So that was nice to have him. Another guy brought all sorts of wrenches, hex screws, all that. One guy bought an entire backpack full of Charleston shoes.
Nice.
And it was a 100-degree day. I don't know how that turned out for him.
So he had a brick of Charleston
just looks
shoes.
like a brick of...
But everybody seemed to have brought something to try, to help with the trip if we need to. One guy brought a whole backpack full of frozen Powerades. He had about 10 of them in there, and he was just passing out to people saying, hey, do you want a Powerade?
Clever.
And I'm like, your back must have been really cool this entire ride.
Smart.
So
Block of ice on the back.
We rode up. We booked it. We made it up to this place called Lomond, and we stopped in there for lunch. We left Boise at 9:45, got to Lomond at 11:45. We pretty much pulled 55, 60 the whole way on the Groms. And
so did you go up 21, or did you
we
go
went through Idaho City?
Okay, so you did do 21 to Lomond, then to 55.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
back down.
And
Nice.
so we stopped for
21's
lunch.
a hard ride.
And
On the Grom.
everybody, so we stopped for lunch at this place. I don't know what it was, but it was beautiful. It was right off the river. It had a nice outdoor patio, an outdoor bar that was open.
That same lodge right there in
Yeah,
Lomond?
that lodge in Lomond. And I've never been there before, and I loved it.
I've used the restroom there. That's about it.
It's pretty nice. So we stopped there for lunch. We hung out for about an hour and a half, and it's funny seeing all these big bikes show up, all these guys on their Harleys and stuff. And they pull up, and it's funny because you think they would look at us like we're a bunch of little kids, but they're like envious. They see us, and they're like, so how much do those run for? Like, how much do those cost? And we start telling them about pricing, and they're like, and you guys do this quite a bit with going on rides, and what's your group called?
I was going to say, their thing is the camaraderie. They want the group aspect.
Well, because they see how much fun we're having.
Did you say you're called the Grom Rads?
The Grom Rads. So they see how much fun we're having, so they want to get in on that, and I don't blame them, because we have... we have a couple 20-year-olds in the group, a couple guys that are in their 30s. We have a guy that's in his 50s, and then we had a guy's dad who was in his early 70s on a Grom. Dude, it was the best thing ever. We had just a wide variety of people, but it was cool because we were all in it because we love riding these little bikes.
Yeah.
But we jumped back on the road. We kept riding through. By the time we made our stop in Horseshoe Bend, these bikes were on fire. Like, these bikes were hot because we're basically holding red line for God knows how long.
Just
we cooled them off for a bit, went back through Emmett and did the Black Canyon run through Emmett.
Oh, wow.
And then went all the way back down. So totaling, we did 200 miles in one day.
Holy crap.
And I want to tell people, though, that 200 miles on a Grom is feels like 400 miles on a big bike because it's so little and everything's so compact, but
vibrates more, I would think. You have to deal with
my hands were numb.
Except Anthony's got an Olin suspension on him.
Well, my butt was still numb. Right. Everything was numb, and
that's so overkill for that bike.
But by the time we got back, I mean, I did a walk around with the bike. Everything looked awesome. Everything was nice and tight. Still, I checked the oil. Didn't burn a drop of oil, and I was just super surprised because we were hitting red line the entire time on this 4-speed motor, and we're holding it at 9,500 RPM. Pinned.
Surprised it's not just flames coming out from under you.
and nobody's bikes broke down. Nothing happened like that. I just I was like, just goes to show it. Everybody was jazzed after the ride. People are posting on Facebook about it. Said had the best time of my life. Can't wait to do it again. So it was funny because as we were riding up to Lomond, we saw a sign that pointed to Stanley, Idaho, which it showed 71 miles further that way. And even the guys are looking at us like, next time we're doing that.
That's a long drive.
And
Stanley
does do it on a
when
ride.
You get there, Stanley's. You look at the sign and you think, okay, I can do that, and then you actually do the path to get to Stanley, and Stanley feels further away.
Stanley is
once
the,
you actually
is
go
the
for
middle of Idaho. You're going up towards middle.
Yeah. So Boise to Lomond, even though it's a 2-hour ride, you're doing in a car, you're doing 45 miles tops.
Yeah.
So
but it's also
it's super windy, and so you're even though you get there to Lomond, it's from Lomond to Stanley, 71 miles, you're that's the easy part. Because once you get past Lomond, it flattens out.
There's a lot of straights,
There's a ton of straights. So it's not bad. So realistically, just getting to Lomond is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Well,
so You could do
everybody,
it.
Everybody wants the picture at Redfish Lake.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people that aren't local to Idaho, Redfish Lake is one of the most beautiful lakes.
It's a glacier lake. My sister and her husband were up there this weekend. Carly and I used to go up every year.
So the water is like that green blue color. Yeah. It's the whole vibe. Everything you get there is just amazing.
It's there. You've got a view of the Sawtooths on the lake. Mm-hmm. You've got Mount Hayburn at like 11 or 12,000 feet behind you, or behind the lake. There's the main. I mean, it's just can't describe it. It's beautiful. Go Google Redfish Lake.
Yeah, I went there on the Triumph a couple of years ago, and I went into Redfish Lake, pulled it into the sand right next to the lake just to get a picture because I was like, you know what, I got to say I've been here before on this bike because it's so beautiful. Mm-hmm. So, talking to the guys on the Grom, they want to do that. I'm thinking that's going to be probably to and from going back up there and going back down. That'll probably be a 500-mile ride.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to extend it by quite a bit. So I'm curious to see how that would go. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to see. Might have to plan accordingly.
You're going to have to plan it out on how you're going to do, because you're going to have to let the bike school.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'm talking
plan if you got a camp or something.
I'm talking like let bikes cool, change oil, literally change oil there. Where you might have to pack in oil to change it out because these bikes, riding them that hard, you don't want to ride that oil that hard. It's like 5W30. It's your pretty generic oil, and you can't.
Yeah, there's a gas station in Stanley you could buy some oil from.
Yeah, because you can't run synthetic in there because the shifter modifiers in that for that bike that small, it works better with conventional oil than it does synthetic.
You guys will be all right. You could probably do it.
So I think we might do that. Maybe even not backpack, but maybe camp. Right, that would be kind of cool to camp there overnight. And I know they have places you can rent a lodge.
Yeah, there's you can stay in the lodge. You probably want to do it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Well, going into now that if you do it in the next, I don't know,
I'm thinking
6 weeks.
Yeah, next 2 months or something.
Yeah, you could probably do it just fine. But it gets cold fast.
I was going to say the fall, if you catch it before it gets cold, is a great time to go out there because there's less people.
Yeah. You'll get less, which is probably easier. But yeah, you could stay at the lodge.
Yeah.
You could rent a room at the lodge. It's noisy, but you could do the lodge, or you could do tents, bring tents and find a campsite around there.
Yeah. No, but yeah. So anyways, we'll move past this. But basically, guys, what I'm trying to get
there
at
are
this,
bears up there. Just get
yourself a
outrunning bears on Groms.
That would be awesome. Get yourself a small bike. Get yourself a Honda Grom, and go to the mountains with some other people on these bikes. You're gonna have the best time of your life. I had a blast.
It sounds like fun.
Like I'm just thinking about it right now. I want to go back and do it again because it's just on a big bike. There's a lot more things to think about because you have to worry about the speed limit. First off, on a big bike, it's easy to go fast, right?
Yep.
Another thing too is a big bike. It's just a lot to manage, right? You're getting off this big bike. You're getting, it's one of those things where you can't just jump on it and go like you can a little mini bike. I'm talking like it would make more sense.
And you're almost safer when you're in a big group too.
Absolutely.
Way safer to do these.
It was runs like I've said before. It was like hearing like a swarm of bees coming through the mountains, and then you see all these little bikes, and people could not believe it because not only were we passing cars, right, surprisingly, but people like all the there's all those rafters, right, that get the drop in off of banks.
They must have loved that.
They freaking loved it, right? There was about, I think, 60 people out at this drop-in, right, with all these rafts everywhere. We're driving by, and we start honking. Dude, people with their paddles in the air, they're shaking. I'm like, yeah, like pumping us up. Go, go, go. And
that's awesome.
I'm like, as we, when we stop the next stop, I'm like, guys, we probably just convinced people to buy Groms without even having to say a word.
Yeah.
They see us mobbing in this big of a group in the mountains. People are going to be convinced. So, anyways, I'm done talking about the Groms.
Carly wants to get a scooter. She's been talking about it. She's doing a party group thing with all her girlfriends.
Yeah.
Their Scooter World does like a date night with dinner for two and two scooter rentals or something for like $110.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so
it's a good deal.
You rent the scooters, and then you get dinner somewhere at a restaurant. So her and I think there's 6 of them that are going to go do this, the 6 girls, and so they're going to do the couples package and rent some scooters and go ride. And so they'll probably just ride around downtown or something and grab some dinner. But she's like, really wants a scooter, and this is a good way to, be like, all right, we'll go rent one and see what you think.
100 miles per gallon.
Yeah. Well, and that was her thing. She kind of said I could get the little truck if she could get a scooter at some point. I was like, oh, of course, that's totally fine. Yeah. So I was cruising Craigslist for some.
And you guys live in a good area to where, and that's where I try to tell people too, a lot of people that get really concerned with motorcycles and scooters and things like that, they say, well, aren't those dangerous, right? I say, absolutely. They're absolutely dangerous, right? But it really depends on your environment. It depends on where you live, right? Riding a scooter, riding a motorcycle in California, 5 o'clock traffic is a lot different than riding a scooter or a motorcycle here in Idaho in 5 o'clock traffic. It's just, there's a big difference there in terms of, the people being an aggressive driver, areas to ride in, like your part of town. There's so many different areas to where she can ride where things are calm and collect and it's not very dangerous.
Yeah.
Nice big open roads. But if you're living in a tight city area and you're riding around, there's a lot more room for error there, and something could happen. But that's just the risk you're willing to take. And I always just tell people, wear your helmet, wear some gloves, and at least that, and some pants, and go ride.
Yeah,
it's a blast.
Don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
we'll be back.
I think we're going to be back here in a minute because we're going to break for a quick commercial break.
All right, take it away.
Hey guys, Anthony here. Wanted to briefly go over the latest and greatest glass towel that we have released. This is the Black Diamond Glass Towel. It is a 16 by 16 overlock stitch 80/20 towel. Now, this towel is an awesome alternative to our current green glass towel that is also an 80/20. One of the biggest complaints with the green glass towel is that it can often have a lot of dry grab, where it tends to grab on the window when you don't have any product or lubrication. This Black Diamond Glass Towel is a great alternative to the green glass towel. It's going to have that extra glide when you need it most. It's also going to be absorbent, but best yet, it's also going to finish really well and give you that streak-free finish. This is the Black Diamond Glass Towel. You can pick it up on the ragcompany.com as a single retail towel. You can buy it in a bundle, and of course, you can buy it as wholesale as well. So check it out, theragcompany.com, and back to the show.
All right, and we're back. Well, that wasn't too bad. I learned a thing or two about the Black Diamond towel.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, not too shabby.
So,
hope you guys are enjoying that.
Yeah, well, while we were gone, we actually got a call. This is a great way to kind of segue into another subject here. But, Anthony, you got a call while we were out on our break.
I did, yeah. I picked up my phone after our break there, and I looked, and I saw that I missed a call from Adam LZ. And I'm like,
intriguing.
I'm like, what's going on with Adam? And because last time I haven't talked to him for a couple months, and typically we'll text and stuff like that, but very rarely will we talk on the phone. So I picked up my phone, called him back. Turns out he had a question. It's a pretty good question. So he was like, "Hey man, I had a question for you because right now I'm wrapping a vehicle. I'm putting a wrap on a vehicle that I just freshly coated." Like literally the day prior. So yesterday he coated the vehicle with some seat quartz. And now he was wanting to wrap the vehicle, right? And he was like, I don't know if it's going to be able to stick because he said he called Matt Mormon, and Matt Mormon said, hey, you might be SOL, you're going to have to try it. And I kind of said the same thing, but in terms of, I kind of said, did you try it? Did you do it first? What were the results? And he said, well, it's sticking. And I said, hey, man, well, that's a good thing. So I just asked him, I said, have you sprayed the car down with anything? And he said that he was using Car Pro Eraser, spraying the car down, wiping it off, using an Eagle, getting it all cleaned up before he laid the wrap. And he says it seems to be doing well. He said he applied heat and it's sticking. And I said,
nice.
I said, there you go, dude. Problem solved. I said, realistically, man, think about this. He goes through cars pretty fast, right? And he'll go through paint jobs and he'll go through wraps and everything. I said, this doesn't need to be a permanent 7-year wrap job, right? You might change this up here. You might get a new sponsor, or you might choose a different color scheme in the next month or two. So even if it doesn't stick permanently for the rest of the time, as long as it's sticking on there right now and can last you a couple months, that suits your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, you're right. I didn't even think about that. And I said, yeah, man, just roll with it like that. And then if you want to, after you get finished with the wrap, you can coat over that. You can coat that wrap if you want to do that. Right, so you still get the benefits of cleaning, still get the benefits of being able to remove the tire marks and chemical resistance and all of that he would see on the drift track. And he was like, perfect. I am going to do that. So
and that's a good point to say is there are companies that make slip solution for PPF for folks that are coating their cars. And the PPF or the slip solution that they can use on PPF or even on a vinyl wrap is designed to work on a coated car.
Yeah.
Because like most coated cars, it's going to be hydrophobic and it's going to sheet or bead the liquid away. But this slip solution that is designed for coated cars, OptiCoat makes one. I know there's another couple, I think Expel's working on one. But they're designing it so that it can work, so that you can coat the car. And the theory is that you would coat the paint to protect the factory clear from the adhesive.
Correct.
And that would give you that barrier, sacrificial barrier between the adhesive of the car, of the vinyl or PPF.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you would coat the top. So you would polish the paint, coat it to protect it, put the vinyl on top, and then you would lay the coating on top of the vinyl, whether it's PPF or
that's awesome, but I hear dollar signs.
It's, and it's expensive. You got to think about it. That is expensive. But if you're one of those people who is, wants that level of protection, you'll pay for it.
Yeah.
If you don't want that level of protection, you don't have to pay for it. Or you can try and do most of it yourself.
Yeah.
With products that are simple and easy to use, like Adam was using.
Yeah. So, well, here's a good example. So our friend, our friend John, he was removing some vinyl wrap from a white truck, and once he removed that vinyl wrap, he had yellow discoloration.
Yeah, it was a white truck
on the vehicle, and it was bad. I mean, because it was on the paint, and he was like, "Hey, man, I've used my 3M eraser wheel. I've used all these different products, and I cannot get rid of this yellowing because it's not sticky, it's not tacky. Yeah. It's literally in the clear coat."
Yeah. And it was just a discoloration of the clear.
And that was something that was really common back in the day with wraps and PPF film from many, many years ago, and that wrap that had been on that truck for 10 years or something like that. So that was a problem with a lot of adhesives from back in the day.
He had called me and asked how to remedy that, and I couldn't get a chance to get over there. I was looking at the timeline and what I had going on that weekend. I was like, man, I'm just not. But he also had to get the truck done and out and back to the customer. So I reached out to Anthony to see if he could head over and take care of it. Anthony luckily was available, so he went over and did it for John. But I remember I said on the phone, I was like, probably some 3000 grit and a yellow pad and some last cut. You could probably take care of all of that.
Yeah, and all down.
You did.
Yeah. So I basically went over there. I had some Trizac for the tougher areas, and then other than that, I just had a microfiber cutting pad followed up with an orange Lake Country pad.
Yeah.
I just used my Porter cable, my 7424, threw my 3-inch backing plate on there, ripped right through it. Turned out awesome. I mean, literally turned out.
He sent me pictures like it worked. He was all stoked. I was like, it's white again. And John was just. He was so excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
And now he knows.
In a tight situation like that. But that's why you would coat something underneath that PPF or underneath that wrap. So,
because this was just the glue over years of heat cycle, cold and hot cycles, just chemically stained the clear.
Yeah.
And so you had to remove that chemical stain out of the clear.
Yep.
And then polish that back out.
Yeah. And so basically, I mean, that is a possibility, right? I mean, if you were to coat something and you need to put something over the top, test it out. Do a test spot at the very least, see how it sticks, and then kind of go from there. But like Levi said, they're making products to use to where those are going to be able to stick, where those are going to be able to slip, and then you would just coat over that to have that benefit of having that coating. But one thing, though, we kind of started talking and shifting into this is giving advice over the phone, right? We get called a lot, whether it's just for customer service calls, but we get called a lot for just detailing related questions when people are in a tight spot. And I'm glad people call me, and I'm glad that people want my advice. Yeah. But I think Levi knows better than anybody. It's where do you draw the line of what advice can you give or what can you not give?
Yeah, and you got to remember, guys, like when we're we do love answering questions. You can hit us up on a lot of different ways, but the best way is email. So Levi J. Gates or Levi at the Rag Company, Anthony at the Rag Company, Dane at the Rag Company. We try to answer questions on Instagram. We try to answer questions on Facebook. We try to do it on Reddit and on YouTube, but it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
You guys got to remember,
centralize stuff if we
between the
can help
three of us and all those networks, we are trying to answer everything that comes our way. And it is literally the three of us that do the primary customer service part or technical customer service. Yeah. Rebecca downstairs and John and your mom, Carolyn, handle a ton.
They're like the front line.
They're the front line of it. Bryant does a lot of it, who's our warehouse manager. So those guys take a lot of the brunt of it, and then they selectively filter, questions that aren't always, in their wheelhouse. But you got to remember, guys, like some of the people that will call and have a question, you guys may have a 45-minute or 1 hour long conversation with us,
right?
Because you have a lot of questions, or we need to work through it.
Yeah.
The problem comes when there's 6 to 7 to 8 to 10 of those that come through a day.
Yeah.
You only have 8 hours in a work
There's
day,
only 8 hours in the workday, and all of a sudden we're on the phone the entire day, and we only dealt with 6 customers. Yeah. And we have a lot of other stuff that we do have to do. So there are times, it's just trying to figure out how to give the best amount of advice, how to give the quickest, best answer that will help you guys out in the long run. And so there are times when we reply, that's usually our best answer, is always the first one we'll give. If it's something where I get a question from a customer, I will physically call them because I need that extra information just to learn. Yeah. And those are ones that are great because I want to make sure that our customers are always 100% satisfied with whatever question or answer they get from us that is unique to their situation.
Right. I was just going to say specifically, though, that's when you can have time set aside where you're like, I've got time, I can do this. Because, the best answer you're going to get is usually in the email because it's going to be thought out. It's going to be, produced to answer exactly what your question is. On the phone, you kind of get the on-the-fly thing, but you're less likely to catch somebody at just the right time.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. So if he's calling you, if you provide the number in your, email or something like that, then it's easier to reciprocate.
That's a big
when
help.
You can do it, and that's
the
really
other
helpful.
thing. The other thing for us is pictures.
Yeah.
Please add pictures to your emails or questions or comments
because
that really helps on the getting your answer back quickly. Because we've had a lot of customers that go, "Hey, this doesn't work," and then they don't send us a picture. And our first response is, "Can we get a photograph?"
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times with towels too, they say, "Hey, my towel, I washed this towel with this colored towel, and then it looks like this," and I say, well, I don't know what that looks like. Shoot me a picture, and they send me a picture, and I'll see a slight, dye discoloration or something, and I'll say, hey, that's normal. It's kind of like washing a pair of socks with white socks with a pair of blue jeans, and they say, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people don't think that.
Are you trying to rationalize terrible quality?
And just to be a dude here for a second, not all of us remember that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then all of a sudden we've got towels that we have to care for that maybe our wives, I know my wife does our laundry because I got fired from doing laundry.
But in this job, we have to be laundry experts.
Yeah. Just mainly because I got tired of hanging the tank top type of spaghetti strap things. Dude, I'm sitting there. It's like a puzzle on the hanger. I'm like, forget this. I'm done. This is you. I'll just wash towels when the dryer and washer is empty.
Yeah. No, my wife. And that was it. My wife. I shrunk too many articles of clothing that she was furious about. So, so the only thing I have to clean are microfiber towels. Yeah. And for a lot of us, I think that's the biggest thing is a lot of guys, that's the only thing we've had to wash. And so a lot of us forget, oh, crap, let's not mix colors like with like and things like that. So it's just, we want to always try and provide the best customer service possible. But if we could be given a little help on your guys' standpoint, from your guys' standpoint, that you could help us along and give
help us help you.
Yeah, if we can get pictures, if you can email us, that's even better. You can also email info@the_rag company. We get those emails as well.
Yeah, those are seen by everybody.
Yeah, and that's our biggest thing. We are trying to, for us, we field a lot of calls every day.
Yeah,
and it's very easy from a company, if you think about it from a business standpoint, it's easy to move towards that automated route and to save us, but not. Yeah. I know where you're going, But if you look at it from a business standpoint, if we were to automate and have a phone recording, and for Anthony, press 3, for questions about returns, press 4, like, there's could easily get that way, and we could see that mostly just to filter all the questions that come through. But that's not who we are.
No.
And that's not a core value of the company.
We always made it a thing that a human answers the phone.
Exactly. And so it's very difficult as we grow. We are trying to manage that.
The user base has grown.
We're trying to do it as best as possible so that you guys can be helped by an actual human.
Yeah.
Whether it's Dane answering the phone or, well, who are we kidding? Dane doesn't. I'm just kidding.
Well, Dane doesn't have a phone currently.
Dane doesn't technically have a phone to answer because you're calling Anthony's. But don't worry, buddy. We're going to get you a phone. You don't feel left out.
Don't worry.
Dane answered the phone all the time. But we want to be able to have it so that if Dane answers the phone, he can help you very quickly.
Yeah.
If Anthony answers the phone, he can help you very quickly. If I answer the phone, we can help you. I can help you, and so on and so forth. And our goal is to always provide the best customer service possible for our customers.
Yeah.
And we love when we hear things like, "Oh man, I can't believe I get Dane on the phone. Hey, Dane, how's it going?" Like,
they're always surprised.
It's very exciting, and we want you guys to know we're excited too. Like, we love that you guys are listening, that you're recognizing that it's us on the phone, that it's that makes us feel good too. So thank you for
many of us to go around. So when we try and get back to those, remember that's real. That's one of us doing that.
We're still a small company. There's only 23 of us that work here, and there's only about less than 10 of us that answer the phone. The rest of the team is working on packing and getting your orders shipped out, and they bust their butts doing that. So
that's true.
So we want you guys to know that we're very thankful for everyone that calls, and we are thankful that you're on this journey with us, because like your parents say, this is a family business.
Yep.
Your parents run this company.
Yep.
Your mom is the boss.
Yep.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that.
No, they think we're some giant faceless corporation.
They think they were owned by some larger entity that's in
some
control of everything we do. And that's when I say we do what we want. You know what I mean?
Do you think we'd be able to get away with half the stuff we do if we were stuck in a corporate environment? No.
Yeah.
But I think that's why what we do works the way it does.
And your parents give us that free reign to just run with it. They're like, that's a great idea. Just guys go, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Make it work. As long as it helps the company, that's all that matters. And so
as long as you're not inciting riots, it's okay.
Yeah,
there's just some people out there that think that they're like, oh, well, that company is big and they're putting this little company out, and
people,
you know what I mean.
People
and
perceive marketing as the size of a company.
A little company.
That's something that always comes up.
And we're not trying. We never try to put down any other smaller company. The thing is where we are today, we have had the same opportunity that everybody else has, right? And we've just it's been done right. We've through a lot of trial and error, but it's gone down the right path, fortunately. And so, we started from a place that anybody could start at. Like, I remember we were in a garage 5 years ago. We are here now, and
it was only Dane.
It was Dane in the cold,
dark, dreaming about this podcast studio that he was going to someday
or just a cold garage.
Garage.
Cold dark garage.
Cooper come in. He had Callie with it. He brought his dog in to keep him warm.
Yeah, I could bring my dog into work back then. She's a Pyrenees, so she's a little big. Can't really bring her
hair
around
all
here.
over the towel.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be bad.
You
guys don't want that dog hair. No.
That didn't happen.
But I remember hearing stories of you and your space heater in the cold, trying to, because you would work on the website, you would post stuff to Amazon.
Design the new website.
You did
the logo,
everything. Pack the bag,
graphics,
pack the
took
orders.
the pictures of the products, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when people ask who's that guy in the middle? Why does he matter? I know these guys on the sides, but who's that guy in the middle? I'm the one who's behind the camera most of the time. Yeah. So you don't see me, but I'm almost always there.
He is the logo. He is the
man.
Yeah. He is the image of all of what we've done with our fonts, our logos, how we stylize everything. That's all Dane.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'll let you guys do that.
No, but it's a definite, you were in your parents' garage doing this whole business.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
Before you had help.
And I see that a lot. There's in the detailing groups we're all part of, a big thing with all detailers is like the small business mentality, like, the hustle, making stuff work, and, just being present.
You guys have never seen our infinity wall.
Oh, yeah.
Our first infinity box.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious to look at that.
Yeah, Anthony still uses it.
Yeah. It's still a great box for pictures. I'm still going to use
it's
it.
literally a cardboard box covered in white paper and vellum, and they backlit it, and take pictures in it.
Judge us.
If I had one bit of advice for people trying to do that kind of stuff, it would be, you can elevate yourself by working hard, finding opportunities, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. It's not always going to work out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't try and raise yourself up on the backs of others by, putting others down.
Yeah.
It's not a zero-sum game. Everybody can succeed if they, granted, there's a little bit of luck. I don't want to get stuck into this whole, crazy topic, because I go down the rabbit hole. But basically, I see opportunity for everyone.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it to go around.
And the other thing is, one thing that I just want to reiterate to a lot of folks that I've seen a lot on social media and groups and things like that. So it's not, as you say, a zero-sum game. We're not in it to win it. We're not planning on, being the microfiber towel supplier.
No, I want there to
we
be...
are one of many microfiber towel suppliers. Companies,
elevating the whole thing.
Yeah, companies like Autofiber and Towel Pros, Ian and Rob are really good friends of ours. And we text, we talk, and when we have a problem, we get a hold of Ian and ask, do you have this same problem? Yep. We ask Rob, do you have this problem? If, we stumble onto something that works well for us, we bring it up to them, or vice versa. They let us know just ideas and options, or, logistics, things like that. And our whole goal together, the three companies, is to make sure we're providing top quality microfiber to our customers, to you guys. And it doesn't matter if you buy it from us, if you buy it from Rob, if you buy it from Ian. You're going to be buying. It's the fact that you are buying a high quality product.
And you're supporting good people in the industry.
And you're supporting good people. Like Rob and his wife are in the garage selling microfiber like we were about 6 years ago.
Love his lab coat.
Yeah. So they're a mom and pop in their business. Ian has taken over the company that his parents started, and it's a family run business. His sister is employed there. He works there. These are family run companies, these three companies. And you guys can say that we're big and that we're the baddest boys on the block, I guess.
All relative.
We were in a garage 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have been blessed because of good customers and great customer service and helping folks, educating folks to be able to be where we are today. That's how we did it. So
we wouldn't be talking on this podcast and having,
if
a conversation.
People weren't wanting to listen to us.
You wouldn't work here. You wouldn't work here.
No.
I wouldn't know you guys. Man, I feel so grateful to call you two my friends. That's really it's
same
cool.
way, brother.
So there's a lot of love in this room.
Well, and like I said, we joke because when we went to SEMA,
we pick on each other,
stay at a house together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We rent a house for the whole team.
It's like a family vacation.
Yeah.
With all the shenanigans that happen.
Carolyn
goes
goes shopping. She asks us what we want.
Obnoxious older brother, obnoxious younger brother.
Yeah, she packs us up, and, we have breakfast in the morning and
she's like, what's your favorite cereals? I'm going to get everybody's favorites. And I'm like, Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
And she and Dane's like Cocoa Puffs. And we're like,
no, but it is. And it's this family atmosphere that we have that I think helps us do everything that we do. And I want our customers to know that, because I know we say it a lot, but I don't think they understand it.
This is not manufactured. None of this. I mean, if you call putting pieces together and hoping something works manufactured, okay, maybe. But it's not like we looked at a committee and said, yes, we need this percentage of this, and that guy needs to wear glasses because people respond to... It's not like we're the nightly news where everything's so calculated. But it's just... We found a niche for ourselves, and we're so... we're so happy that people want to watch, want to listen, and tell their friends about it. and we're a towel company and we're doing this. That's what's so weird is people, every time, you guys, when somebody asks you what you do.
Yeah, I tell them I'm a towel monger.
Explain, because that's one of my favorite questions. I still don't have a good answer.
I don't know how to answer
for them.
That.
It's
20-year
so
reunion.
Tricky.
Everybody asking me.
Yeah.
So what do you do? I see you travel all over the place. I saw you made that post about the new show you're in. What do you do? Do you work on cars? What do you do? I'm like, I sell towels and set up distributorships around the country as well as provide training and technical support.
Okay, that's a good way to tackle it.
I was like, the rag company. What do you guys do? We make microfiber towels. Because that's it. Like, people, right?
People look at stuff. It's so black and white. Like, there's no gray area. It's just this, you do this, you fit in this niche. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Well, we do a lot of things weird here, but
it
wouldn't
works.
have it any other way. I love it.
Yeah. No, it was and it's just, I don't know. It's fun to explain what we do to people. Because,
and a struggle.
Yeah, and it's a struggle at the same time. But yeah, it is fun to go, we're a towel company. Yes, we have a YouTube channel. Yes, we have a podcast. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And yes, we travel the world and go to all these different cool shows and events.
It's not just about towels.
And but we're providing, we're just trying to add to the detailing industry.
Support, entertainment, education.
We're trying to make it fun. A good example is I was on that Grom ride, right?
Yes.
We're in the Loman Loop. Everybody's cleaning off their face shields, off the bugs off their face shields, and everybody's using these little towelette wipes, and one guy was using his shirt. And then I pull out literally a red eagle out of my backpack, right, with a little bit of a little O&R and a little spray bottle I have mixed for the road, right? And I pull this out, and everybody looks over at me, and they're like, Anthony, is that one of your towels, fancy towels from your work? One of those $30 towels? And I look at them, I'm like, this is not a $30 towel, right? I'm like, this is like a $5 towel, but feel it. So I passed it around to 13,
after you wiped all the bugs off?
No, before I did that, I passed around like 13 guys, and they all feel the towel, and they say, that's amazing. That's a microfiber towel? And I say, yeah. And they're like, what is this called? And I'm like, it's called the Eagle Edgeless. And everybody's like, that's fun. That's a fun name. I like saying that. I'm like, that's literally what we do. I don't know how to describe it. We make towels fun.
That's it. In a nutshell.
This is my job. And they say, well, what can I use this on? And then I started explaining, and they're like,
it's a towel. You can use it on everything.
Like, so you can use this on my bikes, and I can use this on I'm like, yes. And they're like, wow, I need to get some towels. And I'm like, this is what we do. And I just explain and educate, and it's fun, and that's a great way to.
It was either this or you got stuck in a pyramid scheme. I mean, you had two options there. Basically, Anthony makes it his mission in life to create these impromptu scenarios where suddenly he's pitching.
I'm like, in the Walmart aisle, the detailing section, people are like, so tell me about polishing. I'm like, okay,
well, you have your McGuire's over here and your turtle wax and your armor all. And then
pulling an Adam Huber.
And they're like, well, where's your fancy card where you get some type of commission or I'm in your downline? I'm like, there is none.
There's no commission.
But you can call me if you have any questions.
And anybody who says the word downline is immediately banned.
That's so true.
Good stuff.
Cool, guys.
Good stuff.
Yeah, well, I think that wraps it up.
That was a fun way to end it. I think that's really good. So,
well, and one thing we were talking about is probably revisiting the About video. And maybe doing a new version, an updated version of the About video.
We need to, because things change so fast here. You just never quite know what you're going to get.
But those of you that haven't, go to the YouTube Rag Company YouTube channel and check out the About.
Yes.
And just you can see a little bit of
it gives you that family atmosphere.
Yep. You can see Dane's parents talking.
Yep. Yeah. And they're really embarrassed. They hate showing up on camera, but the fact is they got to talk. They're the guys in charge of the company. So
it's great.
Yeah,
so it's good. So we'll probably revisit that at some point. I was going to point out too, not to toot my own horn again, but I did release that Sun Valley Tour de Force video that I'm pretty proud of. I think it might be my favorite cinematic video done to date.
Go watch it and give it a like, upvote it.
Please, check out the one that Tim made.
Please don't downvote it unless you really just want to see me cry or something.
Yeah, and check out the one that Tim made too, the Sun Valley Road Rally one.
Tim made the Sun Valley Road Rally one.
The drone in action.
So there was a great chance to use the drone. What we did was, I realized is confusing to people. There were two separate events that happened on 2 different weekends, but just a week apart from each other. So they are 2 different events. Yeah. But Tim and I basically worked it out. So we do kind of like music video type video where it's just kind of a montage.
Yep.
And then the other one is a montage, but it's like a pure sound video. So for people who are like, I just want to hear the cars, Tim and I are both working on our respective events where it's the sound video too. So you get to hear all the cars racing by and all that stuff. So for people who like that kind of stuff,
they're good videos.
I know
for people that aren't weird, go watch the video.
we're a detailing channel, but I realize our audience is primarily detailers.
That sets us apart.
I want to bring in car people too, though. I want to make it accessible to more than just the super hardcore detailers, because I know you guys are already going to like this stuff, but I want to make this accessible to new people too.
Yeah.
So there's my spiel.
Anyway,
guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're on the Rad Company Podcast YouTube channel. And if you aren't on there, you should go subscribe. It's different than the Rad Company YouTube channel. So the Rad Company Podcast.
Friends.
And if you're listening, you're probably on Shout Engine or one of the many subsidiaries, iTunes, etc. So if you aren't already subscribed to that, go on to iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts at and hit the
And if you haven't
button.
already, leave a review, please.
Yes, please. Leave a comment, leave a review. Reviews are always helpful on iTunes. It helps us, move up the rankings. Always very helpful. So once again, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.